I'm Sandy Hilton. I'm a physical therapist. I work in Chicago, Illinois at Entropy Physiotherapy, which I share with Sarah Haig. We set it up to be a place where people can be comfortable coming to, or it's a more quiet environment than you might find in most PT clinics in the States. You walk in and it really looks like you're walking into someone's living room with leather chairs and a nice little rug area where you can sit down. But we have private treatment rooms and a big open area for exercise. I'm very interested in pain and what to do to help people get out of it. I'm looking to see what we can do to help people either not develop chronic pain or get through it faster. Many of the people that we see at the clinic for pelvic pain in particular have been suffering with those symptoms for over 2 years before they even get to a provider that might be able to help them. So we need to narrow that time down, and I'm pretty passionate about trying to figure out how to do that. All around the world, there are cultural differences about how those conversations can happen. So in some cultures, they just don't happen in public. And in some cultures or religions, they don't happen between a male and a female that aren't married. Or females can talk to females, and males just don't talk. Or there's all sorts of social barriers to it. And pain's hard enough. Sex with pain is worse. But sex itself in some cultures is just a taboo. There are people that don't even learn what it's all about until they're put in a situation where they're expected to procreate. And it's really made just for that. Part of it in your sense of self and how do you define yourself is a lot to do with sex and gender and interpersonal relationships and your ability to move in and out of different roles in society. For many cultures around the world, whether or not you have children, especially for women, has a social significance. If you can't have sex, that lowers your social availability and desirability. Patience, really, and a conversation about restoring intimacy in a way that you can get arousal without an expectation of pain, because it's really hard to get arousal if you expect pain as the response. So there are counselors that are considered sex counselors or sex psychologists that will work with couples together or people individually to work on restoring intimacy to themselves and a pleasurable sense of self-touch. And again, I'll have to go back to if your culture and your religion allows that to happen. Because there are parts of that in the world cultures that it's not as simple as the person feeling comfortable in their body. There are literally other people involved, like religious personnel and parents, and it gets complicated. There's a whole theory beyond reintroducing intimacy in a relationship, and Tali Rosenbaum has a website on that talks about how to start grading back together again to really enjoy that touch. It's often by like giving each other a massage or holding hands or listening to music, taking that expectation of performance out, whether that's whoever your partner is, that it's just taking that expectation of performance out and enjoying sensuality again. But there are some steps that have been kind of codified that you can go through to that. Ultimately, there isn't a protocol. It is that reintroduce sensuality and connection. Really important that your partner or yourself respects the difference between this is okay, wow, I'm starting to not like this, it's okay to stop. And to readjust or to say, we'll try again some other time. And that, again, goes back to that taking that expectation and knowing that it's okay to just enjoy what you're feeling and not have to be on guard, because you cannot do both at the same time. So an understanding partner that's not going to push and encourages and stops when you say stop actually should be normal. that's, that's what we all should be in, is relationships where our partners stop when we say stop, have a care of whether you're enjoying it or not, and are interested in a mutual satisfactory response. Knowing that there are cultures in the world where there are people who don't think sex should even be pleasurable, it's just a thing to get pregnant. So that's a reality, and you'll see it in different cultures.